20 minutes and then try and kill you. Yeah. Especially in close positions like that, all sorts of possibility. And if you've got a Reaper, you have no excuse for not going into that main. It is Shattered Temple. You have a massive cliff face that is undefendable against Reapers. You can't put enough units on that line to reliably stop Reapers. It cannot be done. So for God's sake, take the Reaper, put it in there. Don't attack the rocks on the third. Don't do that. Take it into the main, find out what's happening. Is he going 3-gate? He had no idea what was happening there. He had to assume 3-gate Expo. He had no idea about the other 2 gateways. He didn't see anything about the tech whatsoever. So, as I say, a blunder, a major tactical blunder. We'll be right back with Game 3 on Xel'Naga Caverns, folks. Don't go anywhere. Okay, folks. Right, Soke is going to take a 5-minute break, so we're going to go to a music break, and I'll be back with Game 3. Okay, folks, welcome back to the StarCraft Invitational number 3, and we are in the third game of TLO versus SCi3, with TLO trailing rather badly here.
Yeah, 0-2, unfortunately. Could potentially be one game away from being knocked down to the 3rd and 4th place match. A place where not many players like to go because it does knock your confidence. It hurts you a lot when you lose in the semi-final, and then it's like, I have to play a 3rd and 4th place match. You know, it doesn't make you feel very good, and that's not where he wants to be, especially because I'm pretty sure that he knows, and that everybody else knows that's watching, all TLO fans knows he can play better than this. And they're like you pointed out, you know, simple mistakes that cost him the game. Game 1, miss rally, miss control. Game 2, scouting. And these are very, very simple mistakes which TLO, a player of his caliber, should not be making. And I think he personally realizes it as well, like everybody else does as well. Yeah, and SCi3, though, I mean, we're looking at TLO's mistakes, but SCi3 zero mistakes.
No, he's not making any, and I don't think we really expect SCi3 to be making blunders at this level. He just doesn't. It's as simple as that.
So good.
And that's why you can't afford to make mistakes against SCi3, and you can't afford to make presumptions about SCi3's playstyle either. And yeah, it's fine if you've got a Reaper and you're going to work your way through the rocks to attack his 3rd later. Cool, fine, no problem. We see that. But scout. If you don't know what's going on, then that's a bit of a problem, and you can't make assumptions. And even if you do know he's going 3-gate expand, you don't know what's to follow that up.
Yeah.
What's the tech? Is there any tech? Is he just adding more gateways?
Indeed.
You don't know.
The next map is Zalnaga Caverns, chosen by TLO. So he must have something planned. There's a lot of different builds you can use on this map. It's very small, which is going to force SCi3 to probably 3-gate expo. Simply because of the early aggression that can come from TLO. He can go 1-1-1. He can do a variation of it, or he can just play straight up. You know, Reaper, Marauder, expand, something like that, but we'll have to see.
Indeed. Shall we get started? I'm sure we shall.
Ready to go. Both players are ready. They both say go, go, go. So let's go, go, go.
Let us indeed do just that.
Oh, excuse me. Sickness.
You're spreading creep all over the place. It's pretty horrible.
Thanks, man. Hit my confidence.
You're going down to the 3rd and 4th place casting matchup.
Yeah.
Well, you must play another best of 5. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the one and only Liquid TLO. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing down to the northeast of the Zalnaga Caverns versus his opponent at alternate attack, SCi3. He is in the yellow trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the southwest. And
TLO's not really a person that pulls 1-1-1s off, to be honest. I mean, I've seen him play a lot on these small maps, and he just doesn't do it. And I don't know why that is. He just does not like to do it, to be honest. And he just prefers to play a kind of standard, you know, Reaper, Marauder, expand, however, or whatever he decides to do. So that is something to keep in consideration here, and something that SCi3 may also have in consideration here, knowing that, you know, TLO isn't somebody that really uses that very often. So I don't really have to, you know, mentally prepare myself for that. And we'll have to see. I wouldn't be surprised if SCi3 did get a 12-gate here. I mean, if he's going 13 again, you know, that's great for his economy, but is a little bit risky here. And I think he is going to go 12. So here we go. 12 gateway here by SCi3. Small map. Very close distances between bases. You know, 2 racks pressure, 3 racks stem timing attacks. All very, very dangerous here. Have to play safe.
Smart move considering TLO actually went 11 racks as opposed to 12 right here.
He is. He's cutting corners, and he's going to get that 13 gas nice and early. So basically, he's going to have more units out now, which is why you kind of have to go 12 gateway here. And we'll have to see what TLO's going to do. Will it be 2 racks pressure, Marauder heavy, or Marine heavy? We'll have to decide. Well, TLO will have to decide, to be honest.
We'll have to decide and then let TLO know,
yes, I'll call him. I'll call him in the middle of the cast. Hey, buddy, I think you should go reactor first, because I think Marine pressure, more heavy Marine is going to be better for you here.
Yeah, we'll see.
But he's just got 1 in gas, so I think he's just going to use the same build again. By the way, when he's just got 1 in gas, he's going to look for a fast expand again.
Yep.
SCi3 sees it's only 1 in gas. Look, there it is. He double checks. He goes right up to the gas, the refinery.
Yep, has a bit of a poke. Let's say why not. A little bit of harassment going on there. Trying to force TLO to pull something off the line to deal with it and just deny a little bit of extra mining time. Nothing wrong with that. A little bit of step. Unfortunately, not quite enough. 1 more shot would have done it.
He's no Michael Jackson, that Marine there. Missed that one. And I mean, you can actually.
I'm sorry, did you just say Micro Jackson?
Micro Jackson.
Yes, no. I like that. I like that.
He is no Micro Jackson. And let's have a look at this then. So we are going to have Zealot. We do not have a second simulator, and surprisingly, he's using the Chrono Boost on a Stalker rather than the Nexus. So he's only used 2 on the Nexus. He's using the 3rd on the Stalker now. And the probe is retreating home, so it doesn't look like he's going to 4-gate because he should have built a pylon up north, or getting ready to build it up north after those gateways. Pylon's inside the main base, so he's not going to 4-gate. Just a bit of pressure here, which can throw TLO off guard a little bit because he does not have a bunker. He does not intend to have a bunker either. We do not have concussive shells, so this could hurt a little bit. We're having a second Chrono Booster Stalker out as well, so there's going to be a bit of heavy pressure here for TLO to deal with.
Yep, this is kind of a mirror of the last 2 games in terms of this pressure. The Zealot goes up, and it generally goes up at a time when the Concussive Shell is not available because he goes for the Reaper instead of that.
Yeah, that's going to be a big problem. I think that's something here that SCi3 is looking to exploit, the fact that he goes Reaper all the time.
All the time.
And if you're going for a Reaper, that means you're not going to have a second Marauder, which means 2 Stalkers are going to be pretty good here.
Yeah, interesting scouting right here by SCi3 as well. He's trying to cover all the possible accessories for Reapers. He's going up there, and he holds this Selnaga tower. And I believe he also holds this one as well. So he is looking to be aware of where that Reaper's going. My God, he's even scouting in this direction as well. Is this going to be an aggressive pylon coming down here?
I don't know what he's planning on doing. He has thrown down 2 extra gateways to be safe. I'm not sure. I think he is going to throw down pylon. May not mean aggression, though. Maybe saving it for later. But we do have 1 Marine go down. The Reaper is going to go behind this and scout along with this SCV. And that Marine goes down as well. The Marauder is in trouble too because the Stalkers are faster, but they stopped.
Yeah, that was a bit of an opportunity, actually, for that Reaper to fire from the high ground as well. It could have attacked the Zealot, but whatever the case, that didn't happen. And now aggression is coming in. No, this is disastrous. Right here.
There is no units. There are 2 Marauders in the making. The 3rd barracks is not making anything. A bit of pressure for him. He decides to build a tech lab.
What?
He is so brave right now. He does have double orbs command, so he will be able to pump out his economy, but he's going to have to sacrifice some SCVs here to help with this.
Yeah, Marauder trying to focus fire down, and there's a second one, but he hasn't even killed the Zealot yet. There we go. He's got Concussive Shell now, and is now pulling those. And as I said, it is brave, and he has delayed that quite well. At least he almost had that one. He hasn't delayed his economy too much in the process, and I suppose pulling all of the SCVs off earlier might have been a bit of an overreaction. He does hold that. He did lose quite a few units in the process, though, and he's currently almost 500 resources behind. He will take a Stalker out right there. Unfortunately, I don't think he's got the number of Marauders he needs. That's 2 Marauders versus 3 Stalkers. Nice little bit of micro, but TLO catches it, and a little bit of micro of his own right there.
Really nice micro from TLO.
Yeah, very nice stuff. And another Stalker taken out, and it looks like he is going to hold here for the time being, and I've got to say that defense was actually pretty damn clutch right there by TLO.
Pretty nice. That was a lot better. The micro there between both players was excellent, and TLO was up to it. The problem is, though, the sentries are going to be able to wall these off from going back in the base.
That's risky. That is risky. But actually, TLO is able to micro around that, and sentries will work their way through the Marauders, and the thing is, they don't really do a lot of damage otherwise, and TLO is just dodging around these force fields quite nicely. That's 100 gas every time. So TLO is probably pretty happy about that engagement. More Marauders on the way. If these guys get caught out of position, then that is an incredibly expensive loss there for SCi3. However, there are reinforcements coming from that aggressive pylon over there.
And so look at that, targeting down all the sentries to get rid of those, and now he's going to have to micro his tournament life, to be honest, right now, as he goes behind the back of the minerals. Really nice play once again from TLO.
This is
here.
really good. I'm liking this defense a lot. This is excellent defense right here by TLO. And now these sentries are going to be completely cut out of position, and that's free gas. That really, really is. I would also like to point out, this is something we haven't focused on yet, that the Reaper did get into the base and did also scout pretty much everything while all this was going on. TLO, incredible display of micro right there.
He managed to kill 3 probes with that Reaper, so it really paid itself as well.
Yeah, you're right. He did.
Excellent play from TLO. And now we're having this follow-up, 2 extra gateways, piling on the pressure. He's throwing down the Twilight Cancel as well, which is a little bit surprising because he doesn't have the gas if he's building this many units. So that could be a critical error or a change in his game style. I mean, maybe he thought he could follow this up with Blink Stalkers, but then realized, well, you know, I actually need gateways right now. I actually can't afford to Blink because there is so much stuff from TLO. He's thrown down 3 barracks now. Oh my God.
I'm loving this.
Factory,
I'm loving this
see you
from TLO.
later. Does not care about Medivacs right now. He's literally going to go all out. 6 barracks. A huge wave of units is going to start piling itself out now. And SCi3's in a bit of trouble. He's chrono boosting gateways. He's pylon blocked. He's getting a little bit nervous here. TLO bringing it back. Really nice.
This is what I wanted to see from TLO. This has been really well executed. And, you know, from the layman's perspective, including myself, I thought, oh my god, this defense is going to go terribly. And no, it didn't. It was actually TLO being very calm and cool. And once again, TLO microing his way around those force fields very, very nicely and taking out several sentries in the process. And he's actually microing 3 different control groups at the same time right now with these Marauders at the back. Now, this is well defended here by SCi3, however, and TLO might need to leave. He doesn't have stim, and those Stalkers are going to end up catching up, unless, of course, he brings in reinforcements, which he is. This is a bit of a trap right here. The flanking force over there, but in the meantime, in the base of SCi3, we're actually seeing Dark Templar coming up, but I'm trying to focus right here on this battle, and I don't know if TLO is going to be able to win that, but he is taking significant casualties there away from SCi3. And now he actually has the Marauder force to do it. This is 6 racks right here with a heavy Marauder presence. Stim isn't up yet, so it's unfortunate he's having to engage now, but he's still doing a lot of damage to SCi3.
Really nice picking off individual Stalkers as well as these Zealots are getting slowed down. This is so good from TLO.
Oh yeah, really
nice macro, but he's got to be careful. He has to really wait till Stim is done. It's very close from being done, but 6 barracks he's been able to reinforce all the time. The big problem now is this DT Shrine. He has not thrown down an engineering bay. He's literally going 6 barracks all in pressure. Not all in, but lots and lots of pressure.
Good catch right there by SCi3.
It's going to be difficult because the Dark Shrine's about to finish up. He has got energy saved up though on both command centers, but no engineering bay. Yeah,
that's a bit of a problem, and it was really nice force field play right there by SCi3, locking 3 Marauders up against the wall and then slicing and dicing. And right now, losses-wise, resources, well, TLO has lost more. He's lost less gas, but he's lost more resources overall, and that's a bit of a problem for him. There is the stim. That's a 5 DT warp-in, a very, very aggressive warp-in right there. They are coming for that force, and I have to wonder if he's going to reveal them earlier, if he's going to go right for the harassment.
If these are spread out perfectly, there's no way he can stop this. Despite having 4 scans available at the current time, if they're spread out, there's 5 DTs. He can warp in more DTs. There's no engineering bay. This could actually throw TLO out of the game right here.
Yeah, it could. And this is, of course, this, the early scouting was good, but TLO had no follow-up to that. He didn't scan. There is 1 scan which will take out 2 DTs. However, there are still more in the mix, and of course, the possibility of a bigger warp-in. Plenty of gas building up right here. So at least the harassment has been dealt with. TLO needs to get back to mining.
Yeah, he's at 44 probes for SCi3 versus 32 SCVs, and more going down on the natural. That's DT gonna work. And he's gonna get
really smart by SCi3. Did you see that? Breaking off the second one because he knew a scan was coming in. So a scan has been used to kill a single DT, which is not ideal. Another scan going down right there, and that's going to catch both. Will he have the firepower to bring that down before it goes invisible again, however? Those are only Marauders taking it, and it does go down. In the meantime, an engagement over to the side and a warp in from the back. This is a lot of pressure coming on TLO, and he doesn't have bunkers either.
And he's lost so many SCVs, down to 20 SCVs now. Stimming again to kill these DTs, but he doesn't. He's messed up his engineering bay timing because he tried to go for this 6 barracks pressure, and it's just getting too much. He can continue to warp in DTs. He's just not going to have enough scan. He cannot. The scan will not reproduce enough faster than DTs getting warped in, and he will not be allowed to build in the turret, that's for sure.
Yeah, it'll try and prevent that, and SCi3 should be able to do that without too much of a problem. This base now not mining at all, and of course the mineral count of TLO is not now large enough to bring in all the units from those 6 barracks. He's now having to produce pretty much nothing but Marines. It's just a little bit cheaper for him to do so when he really wanted more Marauders. And there's another DT coming in that's going to slice and dice its way through there. There's the scan. TLO brings it down with the cost of a scan and a Marauder. If he can take out the aggressive pylon, then he's going to at least be in a position where he can mine safely from this natural again. But he's lost so many probes.
He has no turrets, and there's another DT walking into the main base. A turret is about to go up, but the DT is going to get there in time. It's not looking good at all for TLO right now. Unit tab, 18 SCVs versus 47 probes and a 3rd base.
Well, SCi3 was not actually able to get through there. It was blocked off by those forces, and they're moving deliberately around that missile turret. Okay, there's the missile turret up. He can lock that down, but so many workers killed. 29 killed by SCi3, only 4 killed by TLO, and this is looking pretty dire.
Yeah, the natural's going to go down. The reactor and tech labs are under danger now as well. He's just about got enough for a scan, but...
he misses. Oh dear, this is GG. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
3-0.
Oh dear.
Not good for TLO fans today.
Unfortunately.
SCi3 just outclassing. SCi3, fantastic player, just overall better player in every aspect of his game. Decision-making, timings, macro, mechanics, everything better.
Yep, well, TLO is not out He is going to be playing in the bronze match, and of course, he can double his money if he goes through the 3rd place. So you will be seeing him a little bit later on, and it's going to be against either White Ra or DDE, depending on who ends up being the victor in that particular. Should be interesting. Now, we will have to have a break because of DDE. Obviously, it's quite early.
It's like 8
over
o'clock
there
in the morning right now or something.
It really, really is. And obviously, we didn't really expect that series to end so quickly. So DDE said he would be up in probably around 20 minutes time. So we're going to have to take quite a long music break, folks. In the meantime, we will, of course, be showing you some more of our virtual stadium. Available over on facebook.com/cynicalbrit if you want to contribute to it. Take photos of yourself and your friends watching SCi3 over at facebook.com/cynicalbrit, and we shall show them during the break, folks. We'll be back with White Ra versus DDE as soon as we're able to. Ladies and gentlemen, you might be wondering what exactly the beeping is in the background. So, White Raw and Demaga are currently playing WCG loser bracket final. And as a direct result,
we have to wait.
We have to wait for White Raw to play DDE. So we thought, why don't we cast that? So we're going to do that. And yeah, I'm just going to update.
This is a bit of a spanner in the StarCraft Invitational. I didn't know the StarCraft Invitational had any World Cyber Games action, but
it does now. Yeah, it does. That was actually a surprise. I wasn't going to.
Final.
Yep, I wasn't going to tell you about that. By the way, that was going to be a surprise for you and the viewers.
It is.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you WCG Ukraine losers bracket final. And no, that is not actually the score. That is the score. Bollocks.
And White Raw's gone.
Bollocks. White Raw has disappeared. White Raw, as you might be aware, is actually a DT. He's there, but you cannot see him. So you need to provide detection, Apollo.
All right. So I'm just going to go build a turret. And as I build the turret, it gets revealed.
There you go. There you go. There is a DT White Raw. Dark Raw. I can see that happening. Ladies and gentlemen, hang on. I actually got buttons for this. I can do player intro buttons because these guys run our tournament. This will be great. There we go. Well, I'll tell you, I was absolutely prepared for this one. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you from the Ukraine,
MTW Mind Factory, Demaga.
He is in the red trunks and he is playing Zerg to the southwest of this particular map, which is absolutely awful. This is Antigua Shipyard, I think. Is this Antigua Shipyard?
No.
This is a terrible map.
No. This is like
you were dropped.
Oh.
Well, there's 16 spectators in the game.
Yeah.
So, there we go. Well, looks like we're not casting that then, are we? Because we had 16 spectators. The lobby was full. So, well, that blows. Well, nothing we can do about that. I guess we're going back to music break. Therein lies the problem when we have 16 people who insist on observing. What a fucking joke. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to try and bring you Game 2 of this WCG Losers Bracket final between Demaga and White Ra. We did get dropped from the last game because there were too many. Looks like we're going to get you... Well, apparently these are all casters. All of these are Russian casters. There are 14 of them currently in there, which I suppose is fine. I mean, it's the WCG Ukraine final. The problem is there's basically too many people in the game, so it's unreliable.
And yeah, WCG, loser bracket final.
Yep.
One of these players is about to get knocked out of the tournament.
Indeed.
I'm just looking at the bracket, actually, and I can't really seem to find any information on how many people qualify, because it really does depend on the country. The budget that Samsung gives per country is how it works, really. So I'm not sure on how many are qualifying. But there are kind of 4 players left in the tournament. Cass, Strelok, who are in the winner bracket final, surprisingly, together. Cass beat White Ra 2-0.
That's pretty good for Cass.
And
Cass has had a bit of a slump in live events lately as well, hasn't he? He's known as a monster online, but his performance... He actually said himself he gets nervous.
Indeed. And he's pulling through now.
There you go. What a monster.
Strelok beat Demaga 2-1, which knocked both of these guys down. Now they're fighting it out. And Demaga just took the first game of this best-of-3 series on Nezrim Crypt, I think the map is called.
Yep, one of those terrible ladder maps. And now it's going to be Shakuras Plateau, and we like that one.
It's like such a bad map to have in WCG as well, because
I don't
it's
know
like
what it is with that.
Close by ground. So it's like White Ra could not expand, which is the problem. And it's pretty difficult, which is why I lost. Anyway, we are going to go ahead into the second game, hopefully now. It is going to be on Shakuras Plateau.
Here's praying for not getting kicked out of the game when we join it. You know, if we want to blame anyone, we can go blame Battle.net for not working as well as it should and dropping random people from games if there's too many observers in it.
Yeah.
You know, I would kill for something like Half-Life TV. You know?
Half-Life TV.
Well, Source TV, have you seen that? It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant system. So we'll see how it goes, folks. Hopefully we won't get dropped, and if we don't, that's great, because we can bring you this bonus game while we're waiting, because, of course, White Ra can't play DDE until he's finished here.
So I guess all the StarCraft Invitational fans should be cheering for Demaga, to be honest, because it may delay the tournament even further if he goes to the grand final.
It could. We'll see. Whatever the case, ladies and gentlemen, just because we happen to have those buttons and you know what, I like pressing them, I bring you...
MTW Mind Factory, Demaga.
He is in the red trunks. He is playing Zerg to the southeast right here of the Shakuras Plateau versus his opponent, a mighty player, still in the StarCraft Invitational, whereas Demaga was knocked out in the round of 8. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you...
TT Esports, White Ra.
He is in the blue trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the northwest.
And he will be going for a Forge Expand. It's pretty standard on this map. As you can see, the pylon's already been thrown down there. Depending on if he scouts first or second, he can go for Nexus first. If he doesn't see any early aggression, which isn't really likely from Demaga, to be honest. He's not that kind of player. So I wouldn't even be surprised if White Ra just went ahead and went Nexus first anyway against Demaga, even if he doesn't scout first. But obviously, when you're 1-0 down, that's quite a big risk to take, especially when it's all about, you know, national country pride and so on.
Yeah.
Because if he's out, I think the maximum amount of players you can have to represent a country in WCG is 3. So if he loses this game, he's out of the top 3. So that's a lot. You know, he won't be representing the country, and it's very, very rare, if not impossible, to actually have 4 from a country. So, you know, this is a big game for White Ra right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Going to Korea for the WCG Grand Finals is a huge deal. We are well aware that we actually saw your teammate do that in the WCG UK Finals. Yeah, we only get to send 1 this year for StarCraft, I believe, on our budget.
Yeah, I mean, with RTS games in general within the UK, it's always been 1 per game.
Yeah.
We had Warcraft 3, which was always the Muslim. We also had StarCraft 1, which was always Midian, sorry. And then with any other RTS game was usually... well, when there was a different RTS game, I guess the only one really that's been in WCG was Command & Conquer, which was me.
Yes,
so
yes, indeed it was. Notice White Ra's mana pylon right here going down in the mineral line.
Yeah, I mean, he's not intending to do anything here. He hasn't even got a forge.
No.
He's literally just forcing...
Is he faking...
Yeah, look at this. Look how many drones have been pulled off to kind of defend against this. He knows that Demaga is a very, very safe player. A very defensive, passive, safe player. So there's a lot of drones, and he's going to do another one.
Is he faking a cannon rush right here? From what I can tell, he's actually expanding.
Yeah, Demaga knows it's a fake now.
He's like, what is this?
I'm not going to fall for that twice. It's silly. And he's hit his economy a lot. And meanwhile, we have White Ra going for a Nexus first. Even without scouting first, he went for a Nexus first anyway.
The cute thing is this could actually turn into a real cannon rush because the Forge is on its way. It's not so much of a cannon rush as a cannon canter.
I mean, he can throw down like 3 or 4 cannons at once around the back. The problem is the creep, though. He may want to just cancel these pounds. If he keeps them up, yeah, he's just going to cancel both these pounds now. Try to double fake, but it doesn't really work out against
double
Demaga.
bluff is interesting. I mean, he can still put a cannon at the back if he wants. There's nothing stopping him from doing that. But
yeah, the Lings are about to pop out now, so they'll easily kill the cannon. So bit of cost inefficient to do that. Meanwhile, he's got his base up now. You know, he's got a decent amount of probes. He's got double gas going at the same time. And he's going to be able to choose his mid-game plan. Usually with White Ra, he does like to get a Stargate and go for Void Ray, Phoenixes, to kind of counteract any fast third bases.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's not necessarily what he do. He can also go for a Blink Stalker, 7-gate, with or without Blink, +1 timing attacks, and so on. And we'll have to see his chosen destination.
We shall see, one way or the other, shall we not? White Ra needs to get that wall off before any scouts get in. The Lings moving rapidly across the map to do that. That said, there is this Overlord that's managed to make its way over there anyway, so it doesn't really make a huge amount of difference one way or the other. He can move it in there, but he will be risking the Stalker coming out.
And Demaga takes that fast third base just before 5 minutes, which is pretty regular. And notice he hasn't even taken gas yet. This is a style Demaga does like to do. Gasless style.
Yep.
And he does add on gases, not all at once, 2 at the start in the main base to go speed and layer. Usually he likes to go layer before speed and then add the 3rd and 4th gas on the natural. But his economy is going to be really good. I mean, he hasn't got or had any drones mining gas or on minerals. 29 drones currently, 7 in production, 36, that's a lot. And at the 6-minute mark, that is a lot.
Yeah, and now he finally takes his gas, and this gasless big expansion style is extremely common now, especially against Forge Fast Expand. What do you need the gas for? What do you need it for? Absolutely nothing. Unless, of course, White Ra decides to do something very cheeky, which is to go right there into the Stargate, which isn't actually all that uncommon behind a Forge Fast Expanded. Merely putting it there might be. You could potentially poke up the ramp and spot that.
Yeah, he's trying to hide it from the Overlord. Doesn't really think that a Ling will pop up. He does have a Stalker in the middle of the map as well. And that's kind of thrown Demaga off a little bit. He's not really expecting the Stargate now because it, you know, should have gone down by now if it was going.
Yeah.
So his regular 7-minute evolution chamber. Oh, it's going to go down anyway, actually. Ooh. So we are going to see a 7-minute evolution chamber anyway.
He spots it.
And he sees it now as well, so.
Yeah, well, he saw something, certainly. It depends if he was quick enough to click that. We've got a bit of a pause. Yep, there's lag at the moment. It's probably because there are 16 casters in the game.
Yeah, right. Well, it's like probably me too. Like,
TT, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Just waiting.
Yeah, I mean, needless to say, we will drop out of the game if we are causing the lag. Because it is a Russian event, it makes sense that the Russian casters get priority. We only jumped in here because we were able to. So we will see. We'll see what they have to say on that one. There's only the mana to jump out of a game that you... Well, it's not that we're not supposed to be in here. It's just that this is not what we were going to be casting. We're just casting this because White Ra's playing. Yeah, they're claiming there's bad internet over there at the minute.
There are a LAN, obviously, World Cyber Games LAN.
Yeah, but we will leave if it is necessary to do so and let the Russian casters continue.
Well, unfortunately, we are only spectators.
So we cannot communicate with them. No, we cannot. Let's hope that cleared the lag up for them. We shall find out one way or the other. But yeah, I mean, it's probably just because there's 16 spectators and half of them are streaming and then the other half are co-casters. So yeah. That's a lot of potential latency problems. But we will see right now. White Ra with a little expeditionary force, and Demaga did miss that with those Zerglings, which is good for White Ra, certainly. Doesn't want to be surrounded right there. Maybe the Lings might immediately pull back to try and deal with this little bit of harassment that's coming into the 3rd. So White Ra now knows about the timing of the 3rd, and he's going to follow it with the Void Ray in an attempt, I would imagine, to destroy that 3rd base.
That's what happens when you go layer before speed, which is cutting corners, as you can see. And Lings are not very good without speed, to be honest. And he is going to get surrounds with drones as well, though, so it does clean up. But did lose 5 drones there for 2 Stalkers. That's great, especially when the Void Ray follow-up's on its way, because you don't really want to build a Spore Crawler. Because obviously you just lost 5 drones, and that's going to hit him quite hard now, and he could potentially lose this base.
He could. Void Ray's already on the way, and what's he going to do with it? His Queen isn't even anywhere close to... Oh, there we go. Never mind. He does have 1. 1 Queen is not going to be enough. A couple of Spore Crawlers coming down, and if I was White Ra, maybe I'd just snipe off the Queen right here and leave, because I don't think...
are going to finish
anyway, you can't kill them. He doesn't have the DPS at the moment, but hey, take a Queen and just leave. Why not? And
there's a kind of a hole here in the bottom right of this hatchery. If he turns around here, goes slightly to east... Slightly east, and then you can get in the hole right there that you can kill drones from.
Nice. Nice, and he found it. There you go. Is he listening to you?
I don't know, maybe.
I think not somehow. But there we go. Spore Crawler now redeploying to plug that hole.
Now there's nowhere to go.
Yeah. White Rock could still kill Extractors here. He could very easily do that. Needs to be a little bit careful. Spore Crawler DPS is quite high. Got a second Void Ray in right now, so he can start poking that. He can also take some free Overlords. So this bit of Void Ray harassment is nice. It's also, of course, forced Hydralisk from Demaga. That said, Demaga actually kind of likes Hydras anyway. He's one of these few Zerg players that will willingly build Hydras and not complain about themselves.
And that's going to be really good about what's coming too. Basically, the follow-up from this is 7 gateways with +1.
Yep.
And Hydras, smash that, man.
They do.
When you can get enough out, you just smash it. If he has minimal, then Force Fields will always help out. But he's going to be able to beat that down really hard, and he's even invested in a third base himself, so it's not very aggressive. As obviously 400 minerals has been spent in this Nexus here. So he may be able to do a bit of damage to his third base. The one problem for Demaga is there's no creep connected yet. Therefore, the Hydras are going to be pretty slow.
Yep, that is a bit of a problem. Hydra's followed by a Queen. Is there anything more pathetic to watch? Oh my, that was a nice catch right there by White Raw, nailing down several units before anything happens, cutting off the reinforcements. Might even be able to take that Queen by the looks of it, although she's rapidly getting the hell out of there. Demaga now supply blocked as a result of losing those Overlords, which is going to be a bit of a pain in this aggressive pylon coming down as well. White Raw with a nice selection, and Demaga with a bit of a misstep, moving out with those Roaches, and maybe he was drawing his opponent out of position. The Hydras are now in the mix. However, they are unsupported, and he doesn't want to let those fragile units get ripped to shreds right there by White Raw, who continues to apply the pressure to the third.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty tough for Demaga. He's not been able to wear down this army at all. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger every single wave that comes in. And he just doesn't have enough right now. The gases were delayed on the third base. He hasn't even taken the gases yet, which means his Roach and Hydra count's going to be very minimal.
Yep, there's the quick Burrow. I like players that take Burrow early. I really, really do. They can save so many units that way. And, of course, the quick regeneration does help as well, and it's surprise attacks. Whatever the case, White Raw is now caught out kind of in the middle of no man's land, and he does have the force to fight it, certainly. Those 3 Void Rays are still up. Those 2 Void Rays are still up. The lag is still happening.
What? That pizza, that lag!
Yes.
GG?
I'm trying to remember what that actually means. I think it is actually a Ukrainian swear word, if I recall correctly. But there you go, folks. GG. And
1-1.
Yeah, nice to play there by White Raw. 1
game to go in this best of 3 series here before we do move on to White Raw vs DDE, which is the second semi-final within the StarCraft Invitational 2-day.
Yep. We're going to try and check as to whether or not they might not want this casted, because, like I say, it's causing major latency. Now, we don't know if it's us doing it, probably not us, but it's just the fact that there's 16 casters in that game. So
I just asked Demaga, I said, do you want us out since we're from UK to Ukraine? He says, no, it's not.
Apparently it's the internet over there. That's what Demaga says. Yeah. Says wait for a few minutes. That's not a problem, folks. Well, we'll put on a break, and we will be back with Game 3 from this WCG loser bracket final that we are doing before the DDE versus White Rock games, because, hey, bonus games for you guys. So thanks to the guys over WCG Ukraine for getting us into that, and thanks, of course, for Demaga and White Raw's cooperation. We'll be back as quickly as possible. They're just going to wait for a few minutes to see if the BattleNet lag will clear up, and then we shall go into Game 3. and gentlemen, would you like some StarCraft? We have it for you.
Finally.
Indeed.
We are ready to get this underway.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Yes, they had some major, major internet problems over at WCG Ukraine. They fixed them. I hope.
I hope too. No problems yet. The split seemed fine from both players, so it didn't look like any issues as of yet, but you never know.
Yep.
Nezrim Crypt. Actually, this is Nezrim Crypt. I don't even know the name of the other one I first played on. But this is Nezrim Crypt.
I think it was either Antigua Shipyard or
Antigua Shipyard's the other
Abyssal
one.
Caverns or something like that.
Abyssal Caverns, I think the other one was.
Yeah, needless to say, no one is actually happy with this map pool. Nobody. It's like, what is this map pool? Nobody really knows. For some reason, WCG Ukraine is being played primarily on new ladder maps, which is, well, we can be completely honest, that's a terrible idea because these maps aren't very good. It's as simple as that. But it'll be interesting to see what pros do on these because I haven't really seen tournaments that use these maps and pros then play on them for obvious reasons because, as I said, they are bad. But whatever the case, I bring you White Ra. He's over here, folks. And he is in the blue trunks. He is playing Protoss to the northeast of this particular map, which is Nerazim Crypt or something like that.
Yep.
Not Nethrazim Crypt, folks. That would be a Warcraft reference. Versus his opponent, Demaga. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the northwest. And
we do have a Forge fast expand once again. Demaga's going to scout it nice and early, though, with this Overlord. It's going to see that pylon now, and the Forge should be coming down. I mean, this is a kind of a map you can't go Nexus first on, unlike Shakira's.
No, it's too small.
And the spawning pool goes down there on 15, and, excuse me, the Overlord is going to go around the back of the base now, and we'll be able to scout. But once again, you know, close ground positions here for these two players. It's going to be very, very difficult for White Rod to expand. The only location he can have is kind of expanding towards the Zerg player, which can be denied quite easily just by simple creep spread.
Yeah, I mean, he'd have to expand sort of down to the bottom right here, that's a big spread, and it's a little bit dangerous to do that. It takes a while to get there. It's difficult to defend those three bases. Vulnerability of the Protoss when you are on 3 bases, that is well known. Very, very spread out, very dangerous.
Mm-hmm. And we do have an aggressive pylon thrown down here for White Ra, and he does like this. He likes cannons, actually does like cannons. He also likes to build gateways too, and stuff like that on opponents' naturals.
Yeah, not the amount of Zerglings that have been built.
Yeah, 6 straight off the bat. He kind of saved lava. He could even build another one. But the cannon is going down, though, so he saw the time and pulled the spawning. He was like, you know, I can't really afford to build cannons down here or anything else. And these links have pop. They can't go all the way to the natural because the cannon's about to finish. And if you try to run by, you'd only get about 2 into the base anyway, which is not very good.
It's not exactly ideal, and that will be easily dealt with by White Ra's Pro, Macro, and Micro, both of which are, in fact, legendary. Sides of the same coin, folks.
And there's the gateway, and what he can do is basically wall off with a second gateway if he's scared of run-bys or scared of any form of aggression. There are only like a couple of Volings going to be there, so he doesn't really need to. And then he'll wall off completely with the Cybercore and then kill these rocks later on to actually open up a pathway here.
That he will. And the question is, where do you really go from there? This is going to be very much ladder strategies. This is a ladder map. Don't know if either of these players have voted it down. I wouldn't blame them if they did. It is a little unpleasant. A lot of these newer maps are, honestly.
Yeah, I think the best way for White Ra is just simply go for a nice straight-up timing attack. 6-7 gateways, that's kind of all you can do. You can't look to play late game because it is very difficult to expand on this map, as pointed out. So we are going to have the Cybercore 2 wall this completely off now, and he's tight walled in. Meanwhile, third base gone down for Demaga, just now throwing down his single gas. Will want to get speed out. Doesn't want to kind of die or lose probes to that 2-Stalker rush that we saw previously from White Ra here, as he lost like 5 probes to 2 Stalkers straight away. So he is going to go ahead and get speed a little bit earlier this time, so he doesn't have to lose those probes that early.
Yep, and that nice fast third has now, of course, been scouted by White Ra, so he knows what's up, and he knows what he can do. And as he said, the vulnerability to a big 6 or 7 gate timing attack, and we're talking very specifically a timing attack there, not just a straight up attack, making sure he can get in there just the right moment. Well, of course, he has the upgrade advantage, or his opponent simply does not have the units in order to deflect it.
Yeah, another kind of push too is like Colossus, I suppose, is quite good as well. But we do have a Stargate going down a little bit to kind of get rid of the Overlords as well. It doesn't necessarily mean he wants to dedicate a lot of money to it, but a single Phoenix will get rid of every single Overlord around the map. Therefore, White Ra can literally, hide his tech quite simply and easily.
Yeah, it's nice on a map like this as well, I suppose. And funnily enough, that Overlord is actually within range, and White Ra doesn't know about it. So that Stargate was scouted immediately by Demaga. So that's actually a little bit unfortunate there for White Ra. But as you said, it's to clean up these Overlords. But it's a nice map to do that just because of the size. Very, very easy to grab a couple of free Overlords from that. But I have to wonder if he'll do anything else with it because it has been scouted so early by Demaga. He responds quite late, actually, with an Evolution Chamber. The Stargate's now on the way. A Void Ray is on its way now. And the Evolution Chamber was a little bit late down. Demaga then realizes, oh yeah, being here with an Overlord is a bad idea. Need to get out of there, otherwise that's going to be a free kill. And White Ra's going to start working at these destructible rocks as well to give himself a way through here.
And the best way to play against this is to kind of go layer rather fast. He's got +1 already on the way, and he can literally just walk Hydras to the opponent's base. And it's a really effective strategy here. He needs to be careful, though, because last game he was hit before Hydras really did come into play.
Yeah.
But he is going for a +1 nice and early. He needs to be going to layer now with his next 100 gas. He's already over that limit, so every second that he doesn't go layer right now, he's going to delay it. But he has got extra queens to defend against this, so that's why the layer is a little bit delayed here, but he will be wanting to go there immediately now.
Demaga's a big fan of having a lot of queens, honestly, and there's nothing wrong with that. We've seen him employ them extremely effectively in the PvZ matchup. Actually ended up using them off creep to deal with Colossus, in fact, and as it turns out, they're actually quite good at that. So we'll see how that one goes. More gateways being added on right here for White Ra. He'll try and collect 2, maybe 3 Void Rays, I'd imagine, just like we saw him do the last game. And he makes this... It's sort of a mid-game death ball. There's no Colossus in it, but it's gateway heavy with Void Rays on top of it, and it's very difficult to deal with.
It's an interesting style from Demaga. I mean, he's very late with the layer. He's not opting to go for it yet. He's thrown down a macro hatch as well in the main and is building nothing but Zerglings right now, expecting some form of little push to come from these Void Rays because they haven't done any economic damage or any pressure.
Oh, he's right. It is coming.
Overlords, and it is going to be poking out now.
Queen count. He's building another 2.
Yeah, Queens, Lings, and Roaches are going to be able to smash this down quite easily. Look at the unit count. It's so small. The gateway count is higher. It is at 7, but this is going to completely demolish these.
Yeah, I love this style from Demaga. I really, really did. We saw quite a bit of this in Assembly, and it looks like he's going for that more. Look at the amount of queens that are just getting involved in there. And, of course, transfuses are a possibility if the Void Rays start to focus on one queen. And that's the Void Rays ripped apart. And look at that defense right there from Demaga.
Yeah, incredible. And he can just keep spreading creep towards the base of White Ra, and he's going to be able to just continue with this push with Roach and Ling, be able to smash the door down, and we're in a bit of trouble now for White Ra. I mean, he's on his last lifeline within the World Cyber Games in Ukraine, and it's going to come down to this big push that's available now to Demaga. I mean, he's not even at layer yet.
Yeah, that is a really interesting style from Demaga, and it is not that unusual from him. As I say, we have seen this queen-heavy approach before. This is going to be 9 queens, and there's the lair on the 11-minute mark. That is incredibly late. And Demaga now can spread his creep all the way across there, and because of the limited nature of this map, this style is, I mean, I'd almost go as far as to say it's kind of abusive based on the way that the map is. That if he's got that kind of map control, where does White Ra... Oh, God.
Yeah.
Let's not spill water on our equipment. Jesus Christ. There we go. Anyway, yes. Where does White Ra expand to? That's the thing. If you're spreading creep all the way across the map like this, where can you expand to if you're White Ra? Really, you can't.
No, you
not
can't.
Safely.
And that's a big problem for him right now. I mean, the thing is, though, that he has to do something, and that is going to be kind of into Colossus, which is going to be a bit of a problem for him, to be honest, because it's a long way away.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out for him. I suppose it does kind of make sense because of the amount of Zerglings on the field and things like that, but I would be so worried about that queen count. Queens do eat through Colossus really rapidly, and they've got an amazing range. They can stay out of range of the roaches, what the hell am I talking about? The zealots and the stalkers and things like that without too much of a problem. They can provide fire support. They can provide, of course, the healing support in the form of transfuse, so it is a little bit dangerous. White Ra now setting up a defensive line. He's very, very worried, and he needs to hold on to this Nexus, and that is going to be difficult without a lot of cannons to try and hold this line.
Yeah, 15 roaches about to pop now, and he's going to go with this now creep spread basically almost at the 3rd, and he's going to be able to just push down there and do a lot of damage. And the drone count is incredibly high as well, 51, about to pop another 6-5 as well. And this is going to be hard. I mean, the unit's so low. I like the cannon wall, though. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do. I also like the early +1 range right there from Demaga, understanding that +1 ranged attack is extremely beneficial to Queens because they attack twice, but they only have a damage of 4 on the ground, which is pretty awful, and their range isn't all that great either. But if you look at Acid Spines against air, against Colossus, that gives them 10 damage a shot, and they also have a range of 7. And that's quite significant when you've got 9 of them on the field. He's creep spreading all the way up to this cannon line right now.
And he's got so many transfuses as well, which means his Queens are going to survive for a very, very long time.
And the Roaches as well, who are going to tank a lot of damage at the front. It's a dangerous strat, and wow, White Ra is getting a little bit overconfident right there with that Void Ray, I've got to say, and here comes this engagement, and he's managed to flank his way all the way around with those Zerglings to rip that Colossus apart. Zerglings counter to Colossus, apparently, but look at the amount of Roaches on the wall. GG Demaga with an excellent play right there, and that is him through the losers bracket. White Ra out of WCG Ukraine.
Yeah, that's incredible, actually, because, I mean, when you think about WCG, White Ra is probably one of the people you'd like to see at that high up.
Yeah, and White Ra instantly says, okay, he's ready for the next match. So he's ready to play in our tournament now. And we are going, I think, to the US servers for the first match, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yep, we're going to be hopping over in that direction. And we'll be right back after this quick break, and we do hope it's a quick break, bringing you DDE versus White Ra. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the StarCraft Invitational number 3. Got to apologize for the delays, obviously related to WCG Ukraine, more so than anything else. Did allow us to see some great matches there between Demaga and White-Ra. And Demaga advancing in WCG Ukraine losers bracket, and White-Ra coming right back to play with us in the StarCraft Invitational number 3.
Yeah, that's good news for White-Ra fans because he will be able to stay with us on time now because he won't have to play in the World Cyber Games Grand Finals, and he may have a decent shot now to go the distance and win all the money.
Yep, I'm hoping
this tournament.
Yeah, I'm certainly hoping we don't get any more downtime. As I said, yesterday was really good for not having any downtime, and then we ran into this problem. And I think what's going to end up happening, and obviously we like to take notes and check exactly what's going on with the StarCraft Invitationals and try and work out how to fix things. And honestly, I think what we're going to be doing in future is we're not going to allow players in that are playing another tournament because it causes
Didn't
this
we
to
have
happen.
that? We had the issues with DDE last time, right? He was playing in a different tournament.
We had several players playing in IPL qualifiers and things like that, and that caused delays too, and we had delays on StarCraft Invitational 1 for the same reason. So, yep, we're going to have to just put in a clause that says you can't. And it kind of sucks that we have to do that because obviously pros need to play in as many tournaments as they can, but this comes down to the viewer experience, and if you have these kind of delays, then it draws the tournament out. There's too much downtime, and that sucks for everyone. So, at the end of the day, It's an 8-man invitational. Lots of people want to be involved in it, so it seems like
indeed the best way to do it.
That. Yep, it's
all right. Both these players are ready.
God. Yep, it is indeed DDE versus White Ra. The first map is going to be on the Crevasse. Interesting stuff.
All right,
we're about ready to go, folks. Let's make it happen. Here we go.
Crevasse, GSL Crevasse, official made by GOM TV, not Cocoa1234 or whatever his last name was.
I think that was on the US servers, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure he took the official map and then just re-uploaded it because that's what, for some stupid reason, you have to do on Battle.net. Oh well. We work with what we have. Of course, he'll be going under the name of Meaty Owl Legs, which is actually my Smurf account. Well, not my Smurf account, that's my streaming account, if I recall correctly. Yes, that's the one I play on. There we go.
Let's hope White Ra doesn't have issues with lag playing against the Canadian.
I hope not. We shall find out one way or the other, shall we not? Here we go. And he is, of course, playing from WCG Ukraine, so his internet problems have been quite dire. I'm hoping that that now doesn't happen for him. That would really, really suck. Whatever the case, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And I bring you from the Ukraine
TT Esports White Ra.
He's in the yellow trunks and he is playing Protoss to the southwest versus his opponent, the #2 champion from StarCraft Invitational #2. He placed second only to Zoke, who he may very well end up facing again in these finals. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you
6 Jacks DDE.
He is in the red trunks and he is playing Terran to the southeast.
Wonder if anybody told DDE yesterday my words of advice to play 20 hours straight, ready for White Ra. A little bit of practice before having to place him because it's going to be difficult for sure. I mean, White Ra is a fantastic player, very defensive, and he's absolutely got the best anti-multitasking skills there are because that's how Terran players like to play against Protoss players, and White Ra is always up to the task.
Warp Prism, Warp Prism, Warp Prism. And this is quite the map for it as well. And they're in a good position by the looks of it for some Warp Prism harassment right here.
Indeed. And White Ra's going to go for a Nexus first. Brave. It is a macro map, so he's probably expecting DDE to do similar build. When you, as a Terran player, go for this kind of build, you can basically, you have two options. You can continue with it when you place a command center down, or you can be like, oh, if you scout early, you can be, cancel, build 3 more barracks, and then go for a select style all-in with Marines and SCVs.
Yep.
And depending on if he scouts first or second, that is an option for him. But to be honest, I don't think DDE is really like that, so I think he's just going to stick with this and try to push his economy nice and solid for the mid-game.
Yep, looks like he's getting a tad unlucky right here with scouting. It's going in this direction, the exact opposite of where he needs to be. He's being drawn away by the sneaky little probe right here. It's up to no good, no doubt.
Indeed, and he will scout very, very late, to be honest. Now, I mean, big map, 4-player map, going to be a long time till he gets that scanning information. Though I suspect he will just stick to the same build, throw down 1 or 2 more barracks behind this, and then go for these refineries as well.
Yep. White Ra's going pretty late on the scout as well, for obvious reasons. So we'll see whether or not DDE decides to go all the way up to the top here. Looks like he's not going to do that.
Yeah, the problem for White Ra, though, is he doesn't know it's command center because his probe's not, well, shouldn't get in, especially with the second Marine behind.
Definitely not.
You know, this could still be like Cloak Banshees for all that White Ra knows, so he's definitely going to have to be thinking about throwing down a robotics facility rather soon, as he needs to know what's going on. He needs to get that observer out.
Yep, and DDE is scouting the wrong location right there. White Ra had an opportunity to lock this down, but he is going for the Zealot, and of course the Cybercore is very much delayed as a result of going Nexus first. So it is a possibility that DDE gets in and gets a little bit of scouting information.
Yeah, he definitely will get in here. I mean, the Zealot's never going to stop this SCV from not going in. So you will be able to go in, see that it is Nexus, see the timing on everything, and pretty much get all the information needed. And White Ra's been chronoboosting the Nexus so much, you can see the differences. 24 probes versus 19 SCVs already here. But obviously these, well, the double orbital command about to come into effect very, very shortly here to get back up. And there's 3 barracks behind this for DDE here. Pretty standard for him. We'll want to be throwing that factory down very, very shortly here as well.
Oh, yes, and there we go. He's being a little bit cautious right here. That's interesting, because he's actually not going to get in now. The Stalkers are there. I have to wonder why he delayed. Maybe he thinks there's a Stalker there already.
Yeah, I mean, he scouted so late. It's at 5 minutes 30.
Yeah.
So you kind of expecting a Stalker to be there. You're also expecting a Stalker to move out like that as well. And very, very smart here.
However, there is another Stalker on the way, and it is going to be able to deny that scout, so he cannot confirm Nexus first or anything along those lines here, but spotting the timing and looking at things like that, he's got to suspect it.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely knows. The robotics facility thrown down now at 6 minutes, that's when it finishes, when the Immortal's popping out and so on, if it was on one base rather than second Nexus. So he knows that what's going on, basically. Doesn't need to have a second bunker, can even salvage the first one, to be honest. Meanwhile, he's getting concussive shells now. He's added on the second refinery. I'm surprised he hasn't started. Okay, I was going to say, I'm surprised he hasn't started the factory yet. A little bit late there with that. But it's okay. It's only 30 gas late, which is 10 seconds, 5 seconds or so. And meanwhile, we are seeing more gateways being added on for White Raw, going to a total of 4. And the 5th one goes down as well here. So, bit of gateways. Units are going to be pumping out now. And the way White Raw plays, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to get a 3rd base anytime soon.
Yeah, this whole 5 gateway thing is being quite common in this tournament. SCi3's been doing it an awful lot. White Raw has done it a little. He's also a fan of 6 and 7 gate. Pressure from that. We'll see how that one turns out. And in comes a little expeditionary force right there. Force field has been placed down, so it's not getting in there anytime soon.
No, it is not. And the engineering base just about to finish as well. Perfect timing on that to kind of nullify any DT harassment, can get upgrades going as well. And just a little poke and pressure here. We'll just get trapped though with these with that